All right. Hey, welcome to Win the Day live stream where we talk about how to win the day as real estate salespeople. Thanks for being here. First of all, if you're here, thanks for being here. If you're listening to this on a later playback, thank you as well. Let me just start here. So I write these posts every day. I post them here and on Pivot and whatever. And they're generally pep talks to myself. All right. They're little messages I send to myself. And the reason why I do it is I've been trained quite well over the years to do these little rituals. And one of those rituals is writing these little pep talks to myself in the morning because I need, and I think almost everyone needs, confidence in where they're going, the direction they're going, and the plan they have to get to where they're going. All right. So if you have a plan, you have confidence. And if you have confidence, you can move forward and do things because most days are hard. Mm-hmm. They're just hard. Crap happens. If you haven't heard that, it happens. Okay. And the best laid plans of mice and men often go right. All that stuff happens. But if you don't have a plan, you don't have confidence. And if you don't have confidence, the likelihood of something good happening is very slim. And that sucks. And so it's why I come up with these little pep talks about where we're going in a little doable plan to get there. All right. Because it gives me the confidence that I can win the day. And it's why I end and why this thing's called Win the Day. All right. Just a little, you got this type of thing. Right. So that's what I do every day. And I just look out at the horizon. Where's the struggle? What am I trying to do? And how am I going to get there? Simple, doable plans. All right. And since it's real estate sales, it's around lead gen. All right. Where am I going to get a deal? Where am I going to deal? Who am I going to talk to? What am I going to say when I get there? All this stuff. I get that in order. All right. I'm going to talk to 20 people. And today we talked about a just listed, right? Which is easy. So, well, everything's easy when it's easy, right? So, hi, Mr. and Mrs. Blank. This is Blank from Blank Realty. Okay. Did you see the house down the street just listed? 123 Main Street, 3-bedroom, 3-bath, 2,100 square feet. And they listed for $718,000, whatever the case is. Did you see that? No, I hadn't seen it. Yeah. Curious. Who do you know that would be interested in moving into your neighborhood? No one, someone, everyone, right? It's almost always no one. I'm not selling mine. Awesome. Awesome. I'm just asking who you want, who knows, wants to buy. But what it is a opportunity to say, hi, my name is, here's some information about what's going on. Right. And they're going to say, yeah, I don't know anybody interested in buying. Fair enough. I appreciate that. Thanks for thinking about it. I know I caught you out of the left field. Curious. How long have you had yours? Oh, really? How'd you happen to move here? Cool. If you were to sell, where would you go next? Oh, that's interesting. When would that be? Boom. Right. It's just over and over and over again. But it's so once I know I'm going to say that, and clearly I've said it before and I've got that figured out. But if you get that, just that little song, it's like Happy Birthday to Me Now, or the ABC song. I can just, it goes, right? I have confidence. You can drop me down in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, to a place I've never been, on a street I've never been. Hey, this is John with Whatever Real Estate. Did you see the house down the street here on Cherry Street, around the corner? Whatever, just sold, 3-bedroom, 3-bath, 1,800 square feet. And they just sold, it just listed for $422,000. Curious, who do you know would like to move into the neighborhood? No one. Oh, okay. Well, thanks for thinking about it. Appreciate you. How long have you owned your house? Oh, cool. How'd you happen to pick Cherry Street of all places? Oh, that's interesting. If you were to sell, where would you go next? Oh, I'm never moving. Oh, you're never moving. Good. You got a little plot in the backyard. You got a stone and everything set up already, or what are we doing there? Right. Whatever. Well, if we did move, we'd move wherever. Oh, cool. When is that? I mean, literally, you could drop it anywhere. Drop me in freaking LA. Oh, looks like your house burned down. Oh, I'm glad the fireplace survived. Whatever. And you're just right into it. But once you have that confidence, you know what you're going to say, and you know who you're going to talk to because you've identified the neighborhood or the wherever you're going to target, your confidence goes up. You got something. And then the likelihood of a good outcome at the end of the day goes up dramatically. And it's all better. So that's what I do. Every morning I wake up and I look out at the horizon. Where am I? Where am I going? What do I need to do to get from here to there, to move the ball forward, to matriculate down the field, whatever you want to say. And that's all these things are. But they're a lot. Little by little, they create big things. So that's what, and then I come on here and yap about it.
It's willing to do that over and over and over and over and over again. Repetitious
boredom is what Mike Ferry called it, right?
Yeah.
And as you do more of it, you get better at it. As you get better at it, your success goes up, your efficiency goes up, all the stuff that goes with it goes up. And then the secret sauce is and that's all in the mornings. In the afternoons, you go out and you preview. You do your appointments. You study the market, right? That's the secret sauce, because that really boosts your confidence. Because now you know something not everybody else knows. You've been in a house. Oh, that thing smells like smokers. They must have been smoking there for years, right? Or, oh my gosh, that place is way bigger inside than I ever thought it could be, because they have whatever, right? Puts you in the market. And then the bow on the whole gift package that you give to yourself is lead follow-up. In the morning when you get in, first thing, at lunchtime, middle of the day, and then before you leave the office at the end of the day. And then if you really, really want to go, you do the 5 after 5. Follow up with 5 people after 5 o'clock, after they get home from work, and you have a better chance of catching them. Mm-hmm. You do that on the regular people, there is just absolutely no way. Like Julie's, you can't fail. You cannot fail as a real estate salesperson or as a salesperson in general if you follow that kind of a program on the daily.
John, we've been doing this for over a year. This is the first time I've heard you say 5 after 5. I love it. That is the 1 extra percent. That's the laying it in one little bit more than most people. That right there
is what it is, right?
Price of admission is, are you willing to do that? 5 extra reps, 5 after 5.
And you'll be surprised. I do a lot of circle dialing, and that's what people will say. Can you call me after 5? Because they're working and they don't want to talk right now. So make that note, but then remember to call them after 5. I have to make reminders in my phone because I'll forget, but I hear it all the time, every day. Call me after 5.
Totally. Mm-hmm. Totally. Julie, you don't do as much circle prospecting as I do, and apparently Destiny's doing as well. But you have some version of that, do you not? You have a daily routine.
And what I would say is everyone meets some call reluctance. Everyone with just lead generation reluctance. And so in order to get past your lead gen reluctance, because that's your number one thing to be successful, is you have to tie it to a goal. You got to have a BHAG. Most people have probably heard of a BHAG.
I was married to one. Oh,
big, hairy, audacious goal.
It is. Then.
You need to have a massive goal. You need to say, if I fill in the end of the sentence, if there was nothing holding me back and I had all the money in the world, the first thing I would buy is make that a goal.
Yeah.
Take a picture, put it up in front of you. It doesn't, it doesn't have to be a goal that other people think is important. It can be.
It's your goal.
Yeah, it's your goal. It's not for anybody else. What's going to motivate you to do the 5 after 5? What's going to motivate you to do your calls in the morning? What's going to motivate you to follow up with the people that you met at the open house this past weekend? Mm-hmm. So nobody says, I got up this morning and I can't wait to start making calls and have people hang up on me. Mm-hmm. So you got to say, I can't wait to buy that fill in the blank. And then when you crunch your numbers and you go, this is how many, I need to make 73 calls a week. And that way I'll make, this many, I'll get this many referrals, appointments, etc. And this many referrals, appointments turn into this many, active buyers and sellers, and this many active buyers and sellers turn into this many closings at this average sales price.
Yeah.
If you're connecting your dots, then you're like, I only need to make 3 more calls. I only need to make 21 more calls.
The hard part is to do it every single day.
Every day is hard, but if you have that pulling you forward, it's easier, because if you're looking at that picture, maybe it's, putting your kids in private school, maybe it's taking your whole family to Disney, maybe it's, whatever. Have that thing up there that you're looking at every day that motivates you to connect the dots.
So I think what I would recommend I've been doing this a minute and I've had a certain amount of success. I would recommend everybody wake up in the morning do your routine or whatever. But before you start your day, you've got to lay out a plan for the day, a roadmap, a guide. Ideally, it'll become a routine, but be careful because routine becomes routine. And you can tell somebody who's into it, they might be doing the same thing they always do, but you got to be careful you're not mailing it in. You know what I mean? It's the difference between having conversations with people and getting contacts. Two different things entirely. To check off, I got 20 contacts today. Yay. Well, that's way different than having a interpersonal communication with somebody.
Right.
John, you used a turn of a phrase, and I think this is important. In your script is just curious. And I was telling an agent the other day about, that's a magical phrase, first off, because just curious is disarming, what have you. And it has to be a mindset of curiosity. You really must enter in seriously, just curious. Am I curious enough? Because that's what facilitates the conversation. The most interesting person, and Destiny's heard me say this before, is the interested person. So gotta stay in that zone.
And I like, John, you said it early on, you know, when they say no, you keep going. You know, I like to say, I'm not going down without a fight. I'm going to get as much out of this phone call as I can. So where would you go if you moved? Where would you go if you sold? You know, you're thinking about retiring. And I even ask, have you thought about investing if you're not leaving? That's gotten me some pretty good investment leads. So keep asking those questions, even if they say no up front, and there's something you can get out of that.
Absolutely. What's Jessica saying here? Don't compare your why to other people's why. I agree with that 100%. Feel confident about what you want, no matter where you're at in your life. Part 2, check. Took me a long time to realize that. I think you're not alone in the long time thing, right? Yeah. But I'm going to tell you a story. I got my real estate license. I was 35 years old. I was in it for, I don't know, 3 months. Was it even 3 months? And I remember talking to my broker at the time and saying, man, I wish I would have got into this sooner. He just looked at me and said, be glad you're in it now. Same thing there, Jessica. Be glad you are where you are now. Congratulations. And it's a go forward. But you're right. You start comparing yourself to other people. That is a recipe for disaster. Don't do it.
It steals your joy.
To Destiny's point of, when objections come, and my father's favorite story, when he was building a house, he had called a bricklayer. And the phone rang at midnight. My dad answered just up out of his sleep. And he said, Mr. Simpson, so-and-so bricklayer calling you back. And my dad said, do you know what time it is? And he goes, sir, when you need me, I'll call you whenever you need me. And my dad, I just started laughing. He goes, well, if you're smart enough to get out of that one, you're smart enough to lay my bricks. Meet me in the morning. And he did the bricks on our house.
Right on. Right on. So here's the thing. We'll just wrap this up real quick. Start your day with a plan. Don't wing it. All right. And if it starts here, if you're reading my posts or whatever, that's cool too. You hop on board. I'm trying to get what you guys have to some degree as well. So join in. But create a little plan, a workable, doable plan. I like the hairy, audacious goal. You got to have that. That's a long-term thing. But the eating the elephant one bite at a time. We're about one bite at a time right now. The elephant is your big annual goal or whatever goal. Win the day. So you win the week, you win the month, you win the year, you have a career worth talking about. Simple as that. So today, every day, wake up, start here if you want, but what do I need to do today to move forward? I go to 20 contacts is my thing. Don't get them every day. Some days I get more, some days I get less. Some days I don't get any at all. All right. But you don't have to get every day. You just need most days. So remember that.
John, define what contacts mean for the people who don't really understand that or heard.
So great. If you knock on the door, call someone, bump into somebody, and they don't live there, right? Maybe they're a kid or something. That's not a contact, right? Yeah, you got to talk to my mom. All right, check. There's one. No. You got to talk to somebody who actually can and will do something at some time. All right. That's the primary. Second, you got to have some sort of communication, two-way communication with them. Even if it's I'm not interested, hang up. Okay. That can be a contact, right? but that's not what you're looking for. The goal is to have a dialogue with somebody. If you were to sell, where would you go next?
Mm-hmm.
All right. That is, and to elicit some information that you can move forward with. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Because it doesn't, but not everything has to be their deepest, darkest secrets revealed to you like you're a priest in a church confessional. No. If you can get just a little bit more to move you forward, because this is a long game we play. And the next time you speak to them, talk to them or whatever, is that still the case? Last time we talked, you told me to F off and die. Is that still the case? Right? Whatever. Or last time we spoke, you said you're never moving. And I like that. Is that still the case? No, Roger got a promotion or demotion or died or whatever. Oh, okay. Things change. But always get a little something to move on. That is a conversation, right? But yeah, so that's what you do. Set a workable, doable plan that tells you your little roadmap, where you're going. It'll give you confidence to do that in a way you go. John's too focused on context and missed the great. Yes, be very careful. Now, I would say this too. I was taught this early in my career. When you're first getting started, sometimes you got to get used to having that many conversations, and that can be contact. You just got to get used to it. Otherwise, you're going to have one conversation, and that ain't enough. Stay on script, follow the script. Don't be conversating. I mean, right? Don't talk about the weather. Don't be doing all that. Stay on script. All right. So, but create a doable plan. That'll give you the confidence to do what you want to do. Tell me about tomorrow, Mark.
Yeah, John, we're going to have Harrison Lilly from Northeast Louisiana on. And Harrison, in the last, 8 years he's been in the business, he's grown an incredible team, an incredible brokerage around his team. He's vertically integrated that into about 6 different companies and has done exceptionally well. I think he's doing about 20% of the board up there in units. I think his team last year did 483 units.
All right, so let me ask you something.
Yeah.
I'm a new agent. I live in Massachusetts. I don't do 400 units. Why do I even need to hear this?
Well, I think to open your eyes to the possibilities, because he has taken his business and his success and rolled that into what are other verticals? How can I take my business and expand it out and look for those strategic partners? Because he actually has built, and he'll share it, he's built all these businesses by, in his real estate business, coming across great people and saying, let's partner together, and expanding from there. So
I'll give you an example of how this can work. I've been doing real estate sales for a long time. I do vacation rentals. That's our thing. But now we don't just do sales. We have a rental aspect. Matter of fact, my rental side of the business earns more money than the real estate sales side. And so that's 2 parts to the same piece. We also do a lot of business in interior design. And so we're selling them a place, we're managing the place, and we're redesigning it. Right. And we'll move into all kinds of other things from there. You should be able to get 7 or 8 income sources from whatever your business is.
Yeah, I mean, you'll hear where it's gone from real estate sales to a roofing company to a staging company to title, and then moving through all those things, building that back around to he's even bought convenience stores with the partners in the other one saying, hey, let's expand. And now you've got a real movement from there.
So in all fairness, you may not be in a position to do any of this right now, but you sure as hell are in a position to open your eyes to what's available and potential. And sometimes that is the biggest step, right?
Well,
knowing what's out there.
When he started, he failed. He had to work at a restaurant for a year, came back in, got into coaching, and now the rest is history. So tomorrow, you're going to want to listen to the conversation. Great. I was up in his office last week, drove up there.
Were you up in his business?
I was all up in his business. But I got to speak to his team and everything, and it was a lot of fun, and it's going to be a worthy conversation.
Yeah, I think so too. Destiny, give us some follow-up. What do you got for today? What are you doing today? Tell me about your day. What are you doing?
It's photography day. I'm excited. I get to go and be there to get this listing ready for live day on Friday, but legion as soon as I hang up. So lots of calls.
Love it. Julie, what's your plan?
I was going to say, everybody, when you get on tomorrow, in the comments, tell us where you're from and how we can best refer to you, so that everybody knows where we're all from. And when we have referrals, we can exchange on this in this format. And I wanted to come back to what Jessica said about why. Don't compare yourself to other people's why. Just remember, comparison is the thief of all joy. So if you want to do comparison, compare yourself to how well you're doing against the gifts that God gave you. How well am I compared to what God's potential is for me, not other people? That would be my takeaway.
I like that.
Yeah.
So good. All right, Mark, you got any last piece?
Hey, make sure you go on YouTube, like, subscribe, share, hit the bell, all of those things. We're growing. We want you to be a part of it. And to Julie's point, make sure that you let us know where you're going, because referrals are happening across the country because of this very thing.
Let me add to this. If you guys get a listing somewhere, anywhere, wherever you are, that you think would be a good investment, here's what that looks like. What is the cost of the mortgage, taxes, insurance, maintenance, all that stuff? What does that cost? And then what is the rental income for that area? Is the rental income greater than the cost to own? If that's the case, send me a note. Send me a note. That's a buy sign. All right. So if you got something, you come across a listing, if it's your listing, or if you're out in the world and you come across a situation like that, tell me. We can do a buy. You might get your sale on the listing, or I might be your buyer, or somebody I know, we know may be that buyer. Doesn't have to be down the street. Could be down the country. I don't care. As long as the numbers work. You with me on that?
Yes.
Let's go to work. See y'all tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Bye.
Great stuff. Great stuff for sure.